QB10. QB10 from the University of Tennessee. That is Joey Aguilar from the Tennessee Volunteers. Joey Aguilar, QB10. This guy's kind of a dog. This guy's a gamer. This guy's an absolute gamer. Fun quarterback to watch. He's a better arm than people give him credit for. Definitely an NFL caliber arm. And he's got bigger size than people realize as well. Bigger presence in the pocket, good pocket presence, doesn't get too nervous. Also kind of a gunslinger, and throws some wild interceptions at times, but one of my favorite quarterbacks to watch in college football this past season. And I still think if Tennessee won that week 3 game against Georgia, I think their whole season would have been different. And then we would have been talking about this guy in a whole different light. I'll get into some other stuff on specifically about him being a gamer in a second, but basic numbers here. So height, Joey Aguilar staying at 6'3", so good size, bigger than a lot of people give him credit for. 6'3", looks taller on the field too. If you flip on the tape, he almost looks like 6'5". 229. This guy is yoked up. This guy's big. This guy is strong. This guy has a good arm. 229, that's what I'm talking about, the presence in the pocket. This guy looks the part. I know Chris Sims values that, and he's just talking about, like, how big you look on the field and, like, compared to guys around you. Aguilar is one of those guys who looks the part. And you're just talking, like, compared to a guy like, I know Diego Pavia beat Aguilar in Tennessee versus Vanderbilt, but if you're comparing those two, that's one where it's like, I'm a little worried about Pavia compared to a guy like Aguilar, who has the size and strength to overcome the bigger competition at the next level. However, a weakness for him is he's almost 25 years old. He's 24.8 and turns 25 this summer in June, I believe. So he's an older prospect. He played in JUCO for a couple years and then also played at Appalachian State for a couple years before transferring to the SEC against the top competition at Tennessee. So his record as a starter is 22-6. Started, was that 38 games in college in FBS. So I'm talking 38 starts. Half of those were at Appalachian State, and then the rest were this season at Tennessee. So 3 full seasons as a FBS starter, with more going back to JUCO. That's why he's a little older of a prospect. 22-16 is not bad, though. I know a lot of those games were in the Appalachian State with worse inferior teammates, and then they went 8-5 in the SEC this year. His jump to better competition, though, Aguilar kind of tore it up in some games, and we're going to go over his stats now. The raw passing numbers for this guy are on par with some of the top quarterbacks in the country this year. And then we'll get into the advanced metrics, which favor him even more. So that's why Aguilar intrigues me more than some of the guys that I have even higher on this list that we'll get into, because you've kind of almost already seen it with Aguilar on the field in some of the biggest games. 67.3 completion percentage. 67.3 completion percentage, which is fantastic. That's great. That's right on the money right there. That's what you want to see. 3,500 passing yards, almost 3,600 passing yards, 3,565 total yards, averaging 8.8 yards per pass. Almost 9 yards per throw, which is insane efficiency from the pocket in the SEC, especially against SEC competition. 24 touchdowns to only 10 interceptions. Some of the interceptions were kind of rough this year. He had some bad interceptions on tape. I think there were a couple where it's like, I'm like, dude, why'd you throw that ball? Like, just throw it out of bounds. Throw the ball away, throw it in the dirt, whatever, and you just threw it right through the guy. So a couple of those interceptions were kind of head-scratching where it's like, I wouldn't have forced that ball there. But sometimes you want that mentality in your guy. You want that mentality in your quarterback of being a gunslinger, having the confidence. You want a quarterback who believes in their mind that they can make all the throws on the field, even if they can't. That's what you want, is the confidence in a guy. And then after that, you have to scale back some of that confidence sometimes. Otherwise, you just get Zach Wilson, or you get Josh Allen, and that's where they ascend into. So, but no, this guy can make all the throws, has an NFL caliber arm, took only 21 sacks, decent at escaping pressure, not really a runner. Passer rating here, which I love, 156.1. So the 156.1 passer rating was one of the highest in the country. Very good numbers, very good box score numbers out of Aggie. Here's the advanced numbers that almost favor him even more. 90.5 PFF grade. Again, PFF grade had him at 90.5, which is one of the highest on this list of all the quarterbacks. Second. This is the second highest PFF grade among all 15 quarterbacks on my rankings here. So if you value PFF grades, I know some people don't care about those grades. That's fine if you don't. I personally do. I think that's very good proxy for him. I think that's a very good number to show that he was dominating secondaries this year, lighting it up through the air. His defense was subpar. Aguilar was not the reason they lost a couple of those games. And we'll get into more of those specific games in a minute, but his adjusted completion percentage was 77.1, which is elite, 10 points higher than his completion rate. QBR 76.7, very good again. And the wins above average was almost 1 win, 0.936 wins above average. 0.936 wins above average, which was, let me check. Third. Sorry. Third on this list of these quarterbacks. So Mendoza is the highest. Pavia is second highest. Aguilar is the third highest wins above average. So this guy was elevating others around him. This guy was leading others to the promised land this year at Tennessee. This guy was doing it against better, superior competition in the SEC slate. So moving on, next gen stats from the NFL Combine score. Aguilar did pretty good here too. Production score was 72, which was fifth among the 15 quarterbacks. Athleticism score was 75, which was 7th among the quarterbacks. And then total score was 72, which was 8th among the quarterbacks at the Combine. Tested right in the middle. He kind of passes all the tests in terms of like physical traits, physical abilities. And then when you flip on the tape and match it to the production, I'm almost like sitting here thinking maybe I should have Aguilar higher on this list than 10th. But we're going to keep him here for now. And we'll get into a couple reasons why. Strengths. NFL caliber arm, like I said, is a strong NFL caliber arm, and he stands strong in the pocket with good pocket presence. This guy is strong. This guy is big. This guy is tall. This guy has the arm talent to do it. This guy can stand in the pocket, good pocket mobility, good at seeing pressure, good at getting the ball out, good at getting rid of the football. Sometimes he throws the football to the other team too much, but if he could just throw those balls away, it might be in his favor. And he's an absolute gamer. We've seen him go toe-to-toe with Georgia and Drake May at North Carolina. 3 seasons ago, back at Appalachian State, he took Drake May to overtime at Chapel Hill, at North Carolina. Aguilar on Appalachian State went throw for throw with Drake May. I'm not kidding you. I watched this game live because you guys know I'm the biggest Drake May fan out there. I was watching this game live, seriously worried Drake May was about to lose to Appalachian State because of this Joey Aguilar guy who was just making all the throws, lighting it up through the air. And I was like, who is this guy? Took him to overtime. Of course, Drake May got the win, did the Jordan, threw the ball out at the end, ran it in for the game winner. But the fact that he went toe-to-toe with Drake May has my attention. And he also went toe-to-toe with Kirby Smart in Georgia this past year. Do you remember that Week 3 game? Aguilar had the Volunteers up 21-7 in the first quarter and just was rifling the ball, throwing deep post routes. Obviously, we're going to get into weakness here, but obviously the pure numbers can be deceiving in that Tennessee offense, which is one of the weaknesses I have on, because the offensive style that Josh Heupel runs at Tennessee, they do take a lot of downfield shots and they get their guys open downfield a lot. So scheme-wise, the numbers can be a little deceiving, but if Aguilar was making 50-yard bombs, completing 50-yard bombs in that game. So it's like, I almost don't care about those because he had Georgia on the ropes, had him beat if it wasn't for that 4th and 8 touchdown pass by Gunnar Stockton. If you remember that play, Aguilar had him beat like 3 different times in that game. He won that game for Tennessee, and their defense and their kicker, Tennessee's kicker, missed the kick that could have won it, and then they went to overtime and lost. So I just want to point that out real quick because Aguilar had Drake May and Georgia beat both times, and his defense failed him, and his kicker failed him that one time. So 4th and 8, that was a dime by Gunnar Stockton, but man, Aguilar taking Kirby Smart and Drake May to the wire certainly gets my attention. So The weakness we just said, numbers can be deceiving in that offense. He turns 25 soon. Again, a little older. He's older than Drake May. Like we just said, he beat Drake May, almost beat Drake May. He's 2 years older than Drake May. So that's another weakness. And then the last weakness had some bad interceptions throughout the course of the year. So you can't ignore those. Can't ignore some of the interceptions he had. Even in the Georgia game, there's one that was like, whoa, like, why you throwing that ball, dude? So a couple times he put the ball in harm's way and really cost his team, hurt his team. So if you'd like to see him just kind of throw the ball away there or take a sack here and now and maybe live to fight the next down, live to fight another day. So, all right, my projection outlook for Joey Aguilar here is, so I have a 7th round grade on him. This is the first guy I would take a flyer on in the 7th round because we've seen it and we've seen him be successful and we've seen him command a good team, command an offense. Call me crazy. My comp for him is Kenny Pickett. I think he looks just like Kenny Pickett in the pocket. I think he has similar arm strength, similar arm talent, similar production in their final year of college. Both older prospects coming out. I don't think either is a franchise starter, but I think each of them can be a solid QB2 for a team in the NFL. My team fit for him is the Titans. I put Tennessee Titans. Obviously, he's from Tennessee, played for the Vols this season. So maybe if Cam Ward needs some competition to back up. But no, I see Kenny Pickett when I look at Joey Aguilar play and throw from the pocket. So that's my comp. Aguilar intrigues me more than others. Like this is one of those guys where like if he ends up randomly starting for a team in a couple of years and being like a decent NFL starter, like it wouldn't surprise me because he's a gamer, man. I toss that term out. I know it's cliche, but not everyone is. Not every quarterback is. And you talk about the guys who are elevating others and, winning at the highest level. Aguilar did it a couple times, so I'm interested. All right,